Good morning, good morning, good morning, and what is up to all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, the very best way to start your nerdy day. Today's show, man, we've got a lot of cool stuff to get into. I want to talk about Moon Knight a little bit. Some cool details came out about the Moon Knight Disney Plus show. Some casting information, not who will be cast, but who they're looking for, and it actually reveals quite a bit about the character, possible plot lines going on in the show. Want to talk about that a little bit. Also want to go over a little bit of the Joss Whedon news from yesterday. We did a little video on that, but wasn't able to chat with you guys about that, so I want to see what you're thinking about that. The Clone Wars, Episode 9 of Season 7 came out. Man, it's really, really good, but I have a little bit of issues with the Clone Wars final season. We'll get into that as well. Also, a little bit of Daredevil stuff. Can you believe it? Daredevil news as well. Yes, indeed, folks. We're going to get into all of that on today's show. How's everybody doing, man? Welcome to the stream. I see a bunch of awesome people here. Stormbreaker Bill, Josh, Flatbrush Zombie, another Josh. Star Wars Santa's in the building. Marvel Maniac. Maverick Pilgrim's here. Trinity's here. Mike Porter, Great Don. Yinzer Jim. Sofaini. Oh, man, I'm such a bad pronunciator of things. Drum and Company's in the building. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? He's healed. It's a miracle. Yeah, I am feeling a lot better. I am still not at 100%. It's a weird thing. I don't think it's anything serious. I do appreciate everybody that reached out and just gave me well wishes. I don't think it's that serious. I think it was just a, I don't know, just a little bug or something, man. I just feel weak. I thought it was a stomach thing, and just had a little bit of fatigue going on. So I don't think it's anything to worry about. I feel as though I'm fine and I will be fine. But I do appreciate everybody reaching out, saying what's good. Saying what's good. You said my name. You just saw me. Soof? Soof? I can call you Soof. Absolutely. Wells, you son of a bitch. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, folks, no time to waste. No time to waste. Pause the music, Chet. Pause the music. We got to get into this, man. This is fun stuff, man. Very excited about this. It's the craziest news of the day. It's the craziest news of the day. Yo, this news is crazy. Oh, yes, indeed, folks. Got some Moon Knight details for you here. Moon Knight, after Corona delay, new Disney Plus filming start date revealed. Looking at this over on comicbook.com. I'm going to read a little bit from the article here. Very, very cool stuff. Like I said at the top, man, there's stuff in here about when it comes back, but also some interesting stuff that I think we can extrapolate out details about the plot and whatnot as well, okay? So, I'll read right from the article. Disney and Marvel Studios have suffered many delays in their plans because of the spread of COVID-19 and the pandemic, especially when it comes to plans for Disney Plus shows such as Moon Knight. And though the debut of Mark Spector could potentially be pushed back, we now know when production is expected to kick off for the live-action series set to introduce a major character into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While the show was originally set to begin filming this summer, a new report indicates that cameras are expected to begin rolling closer to the end of the year. A new listing from Production Weekly states that Moon Knight, working title Good Faith, love that working title, by the way, is set to begin filming around November 16th, with production set to take place over 26 weeks. Whoa! 26 weeks, that's a good bit of a chunk of time there. The synopsis for Moon Knight reads as follows, and this is where it gets interesting, folks. Moon Knight, who showed up as a good guy in 1975's Werewolf by Night number 32, is the vigilante alter ego of mercenary Mark Spector, but it's actually more complicated than that. Spector also had a couple of other alter egos, millionaire Stephen Grant and cab driver Jake Lockley, that may or may not be separate, alternative personalities, and the same may be true of Khonshu, the Egyptian deity who is either guiding Spector through his costumed adventures or a figment of Spector's imagination. I just want to stop for a second there and say that was all one sentence. Remember in school when they used to tell you, like, that's a run-on sentence. You can't do that. You can't do a run-on sentence. You better change this. Well, that's how all my teachers sounded to me in my ears. But it looks as though that was bullshit, like many other things from school. You know what I mean? Moving along. In recent years, another persona has emerged, Mr. Knight, a police consultant who dresses in all white and wears a mask while solving unusual crimes. It's not clear if the Mr. Knight version of the character will appear, though many fans would likely welcome this aspect as it was first featured in the popular Marvel Comics run on the character from Warren Ellis. Oh yeah, baby. We're going to talk about that. Moon Knight has a... check this out. So this is from the series writer, okay, Bea DeMayo. Teased of what fans could expect from the show when it premieres on Disney Plus with a conversation with comicbook.com. Moon Knight has a rich legacy, and that's for sure, DeMayo said. It's funny, last week I had dental surgery, and I was driving home, and I told my buddy, I'm like, I think Marvel implanted a microphone in my tooth in preparation for any interviews to make sure I don't say anything. All I can say is that Jeremy Slater is a frigging badass. He's so smart. He is great. Awesome guy to work for. And then, I know it sounds like pandering, but it's so true that as a fan coming to Marvel, it is so amazing to see, well, we've heard it before, but with Kevin Feige and everybody, they just really do care. Okay, so interesting details about the Moon Knight character, okay? Now, I want to talk to you guys about this for a little bit, but I think it's important to get into the theater because I want to show you guys some visuals about this character, man. Really, really love this character. You know, they mentioned the Warren Ellis run. The Warren Ellis run, to me, Warren Ellis is one of my favorite comic book writers. I love Warren Ellis. He's just, man, that's just my style, right? And so he only did, I believe it was 6 issues of Moon Knight when he came back. And I want to say this was like in 2017, somewhere around that time. Okay. Now, other people took the mantle of that same run and continued on. I didn't really read it after that. Sorry. No offense to the team that took over. I think it was still the same artist, but it was a different writer. I just wasn't that into it, right? But Ellis, and let's get into the theater. Let's get into the theater. I want to show you guys. Some stuff. Okay, so come on in. Come on in to the theater. Come on in to the theater. Chat, are you recording that? Because that needs to be, we need to loop that, put it with some nice, like, 70s kind of, like a Shaft type beat, like coming in, like, boom, 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 boom. Come on in. Okay, anyway. So, this is what we're looking at with Mr. Knight. This character was first introduced in that Warren Ellis run, and man, it was badass. What an interesting take on the character. I can't believe it, but I actually like this costume and this persona of Mark Spector even more than I like the Moon Knight persona. Moon Knight's awesome, man, but this dude was particularly cool. The way he interacted with the police officers, the way he attacked villains in this persona. And he talked about how he loved wearing white because he wanted the villains to see him coming. So I really do hope that we'd get to see this in the Moon Knight show. A live-action adaptation of this, I think, would be particularly badass. And check this out. There's another... oh, that's not it. What are you doing? What are you doing, Chet? How are we screwing this up? How are we screwing this up this badly? I just want to show the people the cool thing. Okay, so check it out. Yeah, another look at kind of at his face when he's in this kind of this form we're setting here. But quite interesting, man, and really hoping that we get to check that out. What is going on, Chet? Where's the? I really don't understand. How do we lose that? Oh Jesus. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty freaking cool. So very excited to check that out. There's also, of course, Khonshu. Now, this would be really interesting. And where I'm going with this, guys, and why I wanted to mention this at all is because I think the actor that they get to play Mark Spector is obviously going to play a lot of different roles. Okay, so it's going to require somebody with some range, right? You've got the various personalities of Mark Spector. I mean, first of all, you've got Mark Spector, who's just the mercenary dude. Okay, so that's one side of it. Then you've got Khonshu, who is this Egyptian deity that resurrects him, that gives him all of his abilities and powers, and that can kind of haunts him in the comic books moving forward. Okay, I think because of what they said in that description about the fact that even Khonshu could be a construct of Mark Spector, that whoever the actor is going to play Khonshu as well. And I hope they go with this version of Khonshu, because if you can tell here, it's literally the Mr. Knight with this like raven skull. Okay? Very effective, very cool, visually creepy as hell. But I just want to get an actor that can play all these characters and really sink their teeth into it, right? And so I think that when it comes to the fact that they mention the millionaire, the cab driver, and that cab driver, he goes around and it's almost like a Matches Malone thing. It's like a Batman thing. If you've ever, I mean, I literally believe they kind of pulled that from Bruce Wayne, the Matches Malone aspect. But he's going to kind of be a cab driver and getting info in the city. So, like, just the insane opportunities that you have with this character showing this multifaceted sort of thing going on. And you know what else I was thinking about? And I want to get back into the chat setting. I was thinking about this, and I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think it's possible that Feige will pull off a sort of Slatery? Oh, hang on, sorry. Do you think it's possible that Feige will pull off a Slater thing that he did with the Mandarin? Meaning, one of the things that was really interesting when you're first reading Moon Knight, or the Spectre, who also, or not the Spectre, the Sentry, who also had a very similar kind of origin story where he's like, what's real, is that very thing, trying to understand what's real, right? Do you think it's possible that Feige will do the Moon Knight series, and at the end of the Moon Knight series, we realize that that's just a crazy dude? Meaning, we do the Moon Knight series, but then that dude doesn't end up being Moon Knight? You think that's possible, and would you be upset with it? I think it's possible, and I would really love to actually get Moon Knight, of course. Of course, I'd love to get actual Moon Knight. But I do think that it's possible that Feige throws this kind of crazy twist at us, and we don't end up actually getting an actual Moon Knight. And how would you feel about that? Would you be salty? It was all in his mind. Too much like Max? Let's see here. I would hope not, because of the reaction that Iron Man 3 got. If you got a Batman itch, you need to see your doctor. Yeah, that's very fair. So Maverick Pilgrim brings up an interesting point. He says, whatever Matt Reeves is doing with his Batman, this Moon Knight will scratch that Batman itch. Yeah. Agreed that it certainly has the potential to be a more Batman-y Batman than Matt Reeves the Batman. Do you know what I mean? And the thing that's really cool about Moon Knight is that he does have supernatural powers. So, like, some of my favorite Batman stuff, like, actually like the Grant Morrison run when he was, like, looking at Justice League. And there was this thing in, like, the 90s and in the early 2000s before the New 52 where Batman was seen as a creature. To most of the people in Gotham and some of the villains and stuff, they didn't actually think of him as a person. They thought that he was some sort of creature or supernatural thing. And that has sort of gone away. But the thing with Mark Spector and Moon Knight is he's literally that. Like, he literally has crazy supernatural abilities. So it's like he could be a thing that villains and people could be very, very scared of. You know what I mean? Postmodern. Yeah, save that for DC. Agreed there. Sorry, guys. Have you seen IMDb's Moon Knight plot description? Maybe potential spoilers? I have not. I don't know if that would be realistic or not, to be honest with you. Moon Knight Ghost Armor? Yeah. Yeah, and then you know what's funny is as we look at this casting call and everything like that, which by the way, the fact that it's going to be ramping or moving ahead in November is brilliant. We will probably get the info on who's going to be Moon Knight, I would say in the next couple of weeks, definitely in the next couple of months. That will slip out, you know. It probably won't be a thing like it was with Rosario Dawson, where like she's already filmed season 2 of Mando. Like she already filmed it. I think again with that soundstage and with that soundstage and stuff like that, like they can hide that much better than they can with other stuff. Shia? Yeah, dude, I want Shia LaBeouf bad. Y'all know that. I've been talking about that. I want Shia LaBeouf bad. And he's got the range, dude. He's got the range for this. You know what I mean? Just do it. Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be awesome. Although Daniel Radcliffe, which is another thing, actor that people believe could do this role, he's got the chops too. You know what I mean? He definitely has the chops for it. Rami Malek, man, I would love Rami Malek. I know that like to Marvel, it's this thing where it's very important to them that he's a Jewish character because he was Jewish in the comics. It's like, that's cool. That's cool. Like, that's fine. Like, I get that rationale. I don't necessarily agree with it because to me, an actor becomes someone that they're not. That's the whole point. You know what I mean? So I think Rami Malek could absolutely crush it as Moon Knight. He would be great in it. But either way, man, like this is to me as an actor, this would be a great task. You know what I mean? Something you could really sink your teeth into. So many different things that you could be working on. You know what I mean? Like I'm reminded of the way that Hardy did Venom. And he had those conversations going back and forth between Venom and Eddie. And that was really cool, man. It really helped that film. Like, honestly, without that, no bueno. You know what I mean? No bueno. But the difference is with, like, Khonshu is that could be, like, aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, instead of it just being a back and forth, because, I mean, Venom does start a little bit aggressive, but then they find commonality, they find common ground, and they work it out. But in this state of Khonshu is really kind of like a demon possessing Spectre in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? The Lonely Banter's here. What's going on, man? We're talking about Moon Knight. There's new details that the film or that the show will start filming in November, and it has a new working title. And we're extrapolating out some plot points based on the casting call and the show description. So the show description mentions that Mark Spector is a mercenary, has this power connected to Khonshu, but the show description also mentions the fact that he's crazy, the fact that there are these alternate personalities that could be his personalities or not, and it all could be being made up. So it's probably going to be like a very, very psychological journey. One of the best descriptions I've ever heard of the Moon Knight character was people call him Batman and Joker if they were the same character. And I think that's a brilliant way to describe him. You know what I mean? Also, he does have a lot to do with Dark Reign and Norman and that whole situation moving forward, too. So, potential for some very, very cool stuff happening with that character in the future. Hey, Greg and Lizzie, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing well, man. Hope you guys are doing well. Trump's still mad at me. Otherwise, this would be a super chat. Oh, you're saying you didn't get your Trump money yet? I know that there's ways you can go to the website and try to figure that out. But does this mean Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision and Loki can restart shooting soon? I think, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Not 100% sure. But you know what? We'll come back to that. We'll come back to this in Q&A here, guys. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to like oh man, I'm trying to figure something out here. Hang on. Okay, cool. No lie, being 100% real with you, there's been this pesky fly in the studio that's just been buzzing around, and I literally just trapped his ass. Like during this whole conversation, I was trying to sort of like hide it from you guys, but he flew into a vitamin water bottle on my desk, and I like put my hand on top of it. Look, you can see, I can prove it. I put my hand on top. I've been holding my hand on top of this thing the entire time because we got him, boys. We got him. All right, put me on the big screen. Now, let's talk. Let's talk. No music. No music. So let's talk about the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 9, and just in general, like the whole deal with Star Wars, the Clone Wars this last season, okay? So I did watch the 9th episode, the beginning of the Siege of Mandalore arc. I watched it earlier this morning, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's very, very cool, and I'm grateful that we have it. Man, it was a great episode. A lot of emotion in that episode between Ahsoka and Anakin. A lot of emotion. Just very, very cool. Getting on Mandalore, seeing the Mandalorian, seeing, that version of Death Watch, even the helmet with the horns from Maul, seeing Maul come in at the very end. By the way, spoilers. I'm going to spoil that, so if you haven't seen that episode, maybe kind of check out for a little bit, or if you're watching this, possibly clipped on YouTube, maybe skip this video. So I was very, very pleased with this episode, and I do believe that this last arc is going to be amazing. Sam Witwer has been very vocal about how it might be the best stuff they've ever done. Various people have teased how epic it is going to be. We've seen some of it teased because you'll remember the trailer for the final season of The Clone Wars and a lot of the ways that it was marketed. All of the footage used in that stuff, or most of it, was the last 4 episodes. Okay, the last 4 episodes. So I'm incredibly excited for it. I think it's going to be really great. But it reveals a problem with this final season, a problem that I have personally had with the Clone Wars final season, and just sort of another problem that I think Lucasfilm needs to be aware of. You know what I mean? And this is such a weird issue because I know that where the Star Wars fan base is at right now, there are just a ton of different camps of people, and everybody has an opinion. Everybody feels like the opinions of others are intruding upon their opinions, and the state of the fandom is just, well, it's kind of a mess, right? And so I get that. However, I think it's totally okay for fans to come out and say that this final season of the Clone Wars has been, for the most part, a disappointment and borderline a sham, to be honest with you. Now, I've ebbed and flowed on this point. I haven't made a ton of videos that are talking about the Clone Wars really at all, but I definitely haven't made a bunch of videos that are negative about it, right? I've seen a lot of videos about it. I've seen a lot of discussions about it that are very negative when it comes to the Clone Wars, the final season. I would love it if there was a better way for us to convey this idea to Disney. Because I do think right now that a lot of the overwhelming negativity, and really like the grifting negativity, which is like that side of the fandom that's purposely being negative about everything because it fits into their narrative, it incites the audience that enjoys their content. It's sort of algorithm driven, right? And so the way that some people out there view things in Star Wars are like, hey man, if I have an opportunity to be negative about Star Wars, I'm going to take it because it resonates with a lot of people that are mad about Star Wars, okay? That side of the fandom and that feeling has definitely caused problems. And I think one of the problems it caused is when a situation like this happens with the Clone Wars, there's no voice of reason out there. There's no way that fans can come out and say, hey, look, Lucasfilm, without being too ridiculous, harsh, or toxic. I want to let you know that as a fan, I am disappointed. And I honestly feel like you took advantage of the fact that we all love the Clone Wars so much and the fact that we were so hyped for the Clone Wars to come back. I feel like you mismarketed what this was, because honestly, even if the rest of this season is incredible, which again, I expect it to be, I can't help but feel super duper let down by a 12 episode final season in which a third of it, is just polishing up things we've already seen. The next third of it is a weird arc with characters that I'm completely uninterested in. It was like I know there are people out there that probably like Trace and her sister. I'm not one of them. And I felt like it was laughably bad watching that arc. I was like, what is this? I really, really don't like this. So 2/3 of your already really shortened season were pretty undesirable. And I think you knew that because you don't use footage from that to promote the series. And so this whole idea of Clone Wars is back. We saved the Clone Wars. Fans asked for it. We delivered. It kind of feels like bullshit. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like bullshit. And it's like one of those situations where I understand that there are a lot of fans that just think everything with Star Wars is negative right now, and we don't want everything to just be negative. That's totally fair. But at the same time, we need to let Lucasfilm know in a reasonable way, in a, mature way, that this is not okay. This is a letdown. This is a letdown. We were talking about it on Discord, and some, I think it was Jen brought up that they should have probably just done this last arc as a movie. And I agree. If they would have just done this last arc as a film and then released it on Disney Plus, I feel like there wouldn't have been a lot of negativity or backlash towards, what they did with the other episodes. I just feel as though there's no way you can really justify this. And I've seen people that are very positive on this last season. But really, in my opinion, these people are just anti-negativity, not really like actually positive on the show. Which is fine. Everybody has their prerogative to do that. But man, when I watched this episode 9, even the intro is different. The animation even feels doper. There's a part at the beginning where Obi-Wan Kenobi comes in and saves Cody and like slams through this missile, and you get this shot of like the remnants of the explosion sort of working over the lightsaber blade, and there's this like smoke and fog emanating from it. It was amazing. Even the animation looks different and better. It literally feels like this is really the only part of the show that the whole gang came back for and developed. And it is very good. But it doesn't excuse what came before. And so, look, my whole thing with Star Wars and the Star Wars fandom is it's exhausting. I'm like 1 foot in. I can't be fully engaged with it for my own mental health because it's literally that exhausting to me. But I just wish there was a way that we could reasonably come to the table. Like, I don't think I sound unreasonable here. I don't think I sound like an asshole. I don't think I sound like somebody that's just being negative for the sake of negative. I very much like what we've got. But if I was in front of Filoni, if I was in front of Kathy Kennedy, if I was in front of these people, even Sam Witwer, I would say, look, I'm very grateful. But at the same time, I feel you need to know that I'm let down and that this is not okay. Please don't do this again. Like, if you have a solid product, then market that product with some transparency and then deliver that product the way it was marketed. You know what I mean? This is not that. This is an example of like the opposite of that. You literally gave us essentially 8 episodes of filler and then paid off a 4-episode arc, which, by the way, some people are complaining kind of ruins the canon of the Ahsoka novel a little bit. I'm not there. I'm not going to jump there. But I'm just saying it doesn't match up. the promise, the hype, the push, the marketing doesn't match up with the final product. And so there needs to be a way for fans to politely convey this idea to Lucasfilm and say, look, man, if there's two categories and we're doing tallies and it's like good job, bad job, it doesn't matter how epic this finale is, even though, maybe it will be epic enough and I'll forget it. But just from where I'm standing right now, it doesn't matter how epic the finale is. Bad job. That's where I'm at with this final season of the Clone Wars. I mean, look, I want to know what you think about this, so let me know what you think. But I have to be honest. That's where I'm at with the Clone Wars. Bad job. Bad job. So now I want to let's get into let's get into the chat. Let's dig into it. Let's see how everybody's feeling about this. I know people have a variety of different opinions about this. But again, I'm not going to... I mean, look, this is my opinion. This is where I stand on it. I've had a lot of time to think about it. Bad job. Bad job. You know what I mean? And look, I don't think that, like, I think if I was a company, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, if you're in charge of Star Wars right now, I'm sure if you're looking out at the fan base and you're trying to discern, you know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to discern what do the fans want, how are the fans feeling, that's why I feel like it's important for the reasonable fans to speak out and to let people know, because I guarantee you, it's not like, people have this idea that, like, Kennedy and all these other people, they want to, like, destroy Star Wars. They have this nefarious intent. I'm telling you, that is not true, man. They want it to be good. They want it to be what you want it to be, but we have to find a mature way to express that. You know what I mean? I said this on Discord, but it bears repeating. Marketing should undersell and over-deliver. That wasn't the case with the Clone Wars Season 7. Yeah, 100%, man. Justin Simone says, Favreau is the Star Wars savior, not Filoni. Dave will be good help, reinforcement, the lore, and whatnot, but Favreau will keep things focused, I believe. Well, look, I get what you're saying, and I know there's sort of this undercurrent of fans that want to sort of detract from Dave Filoni. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I think it's just because so many people love what Filoni has done, and so many people really respect Filoni. And there's a group of fans that are kind of trying to say to people like I know that like Ryan Kindle feels this way over at RK Outpost, right? Where I get a sense that his feelings are, Filoni is not this big savior, and I think that his criticism are coming from a good place, where he's trying to get other fans to sort of keep the wool from being pulled over their eyes, which is totally fair. But like, my thing is, I've seen interviews where Dave gets frustrated with the way that the marketing team decides to market his shows. Even with the final season of Rebels, he actually told fans, believe it or not, to not watch the trailer. You know what I mean? So it's like, I do think there's a conflict there between what Dave is doing and what Disney is doing. You know what I mean? So, who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? But I am a big fan of Dave Filoni. I've watched the dude speak live. You know what I mean? Like, he went to the same art school that I did. I like Filoni, man. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Filoni, and I do think he would be a great person to take a bigger role at Lucasfilm. I feel sorry for the Ahsoka voice actor if this is how she ends her connection with the character. Possible. Possible. I wouldn't necessarily argue with you for having that feeling. I think, man, Ashley's fine, man. Like, people get. I know there was sort of a group of fans that got upset that Ashley didn't get the live action role and that she's not really involved in what's going on with that at all. Ashley will be fine. You know what I mean? Ashley has launched her own clothing line. I see them at cons all the time. Ashley's doing great. She'll always be a part of the Star Wars family. She's likely voicing Ahsoka in whatever series comes next. She'll be signing autographs and going to conventions for the rest of her life. She's totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, Ashley will be fine. Yeah. Lonely Panther says, yeah, Ashley gonna be good. Yeah, she'll be okay. I wouldn't get too upset or concerned for Ashley. Ashley's gonna be fine. And Rosario Dawson is going to kill it as Ahsoka. She's a voice actor. Why would she play a live action version? It doesn't make sense. Well, she's an actor or actress as well. She has acted in things before. You know what I mean? Well, you know what, guys? Let's just get into Q&A. You know what I mean? Let's just do like 15, 20 more minutes of Q&A, and let's just kind of talk, man, as a community. You know what I mean? I'm interested in what people want to talk about. I'm interested in their takes about, you know, the Clone Wars and all that. You know, look, I think I said my piece. Bad job. I'm not going to fucking cry about it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be butthurt or spend any time trying to convince other people to feel the way that I feel. But as far as how I feel, bad job. Neon Sci-Fi says no. Without George Lucas looking over him, he'll bring things in like time travel to Star Wars. That's fair. But some people like that about Dave. Some people like that he does that, does new, does creative, does big ideas. You know what I mean? I mean, he essentially had a bunch of space whales save the day at the end of Star Wars Rebels. And if you've ever heard him talk about that, he was like, yeah, no, that could have gone badly. But you got to take risks. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you this, Dave Filoni, my man, taking way more risks than J.J. Abrams. Because as a reminder to you all, and I wonder how much of this has actually been reported out there. Dave, J.J. Abrams had on the table a really interesting explanation for Palpatine's return. I wonder how much of this have actually been talked about here. J.J. Abrams had a really interesting idea. I think Jason Ward has talked about this. But I do know there's some stuff he's working on behind the scenes that I don't want to ruin. But he talked about how JJ had this really interesting idea for Palpatine in the film and then literally abandons it because it was too complicated and too bold, and he just wanted to play it safe with the narrative. You know what I mean? Did you see Sabine in the new episode? No, that's not Sabine. That's probably Sabine's mother. You know what I mean? Have you seen my post about Rami Malek as Namor in the Discord? Thoughts? It kind of makes sense in my opinion. I haven't seen it. I was just resting yesterday, man. You know, got that Joss Whedon video done, which I thought was very interesting. John Campion coming out with a very interesting scoop. What did you guys think about that scoop, man? Can we talk about that a little bit? Josh, has Jon Favreau announced yet what character Sasha Banks is going to be playing in the next season of The Mandalorian? No. No, they have not. Did you see the Quake Avengers 5 rumors? Read an article that said The same person who broke Taskmaster said Quake from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Chloe Bennett, will be in Avengers 5. That's interesting. Let Baby Yoda take over for Kathleen Kennedy. Who's with me? Oh, boy. Let's see here. The Lonely Banter says, I think it has legs. The way he talked Whedon up throughout the entire segment made me think there is something to it. Well, yeah. Here's the thing, and I actually talked to some people that said that Whedon is actually always meeting with Feige and Marvel Studios about projects. Like, he's constantly helping them punch things up. Fanjexture says, Whedon is a hack. Yeah, I saw your comment on the video yesterday. You're like, no. Man, you got to explain why you no likey Whedon. Why you no likey the Whedon, man? Yeah, I want Whedon for the X-Men as well. That's kind of what I went into yesterday. Christopher Nolan X-Men? No way, dude. No way. Christopher Nolan does not work in the MCU, in my opinion. Who do I message about the trivia teams? You can shoot me an email at thedenofnerds@gmail.com. Yeah, Nolan's great, man, but no MCU. No. Although, I would love Nolan to do Akira, actually, man. The visuals that are in Inception, to me, where I was like, yeah, dude, Akira. I believe he ripped off an anime, Outlaw Star, and repurposed it as Firefly. I'm just a grown man who can't let things go. Well, that's fair. Yeah, no, I got your email, Justin. I got your email, bruh. I'm going to do a video today, too, about the new Avengers team. Jeremy Conrad had an interesting scoop about, like, Captain Marvel 2 and how it will look to set up the new status quo for the new Avengers. And look, I'm not going to toot my own horn. By the way, chat, we need a horn in here called Josh's horn so that I can literally toot my own horn. No, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I'm in charge. No, I know. Okay. So I don't want to toot my own horn. Beep, beep. But, y'all remember when I said in 2022 the movies they need to do were Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, and their new Avengers team? I was like, this is what you do. Bada boom, bada boom, bada bang. It looks like that rationale was shared by one Kevin Feige, and that looks to be what they are setting up. Now, I think it will be a little bit different because I think Blade might come out that year, but Captain Marvel 2 will look to set up the Avengers. Man, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I still don't feel that good. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like, I feel, like, good, but it's like when you talk for, like, an hour straight, I don't know, man. This is why I took the show off yesterday. It'll be good to get rest over the weekend, but, man, I don't feel a hundo right now, man. I don't feel a hundo. When is your Batman article coming? I hope fucking today, man. I was working on it yesterday. I'm like, it's not quite there. It's not quite there. I can't figure out how to fully explain what I mean, so I'm having a little bit of trouble with it. I'm probably just going to go for like 5 more minutes, guys. I apologize, but I got to call it early. That'll be all right, Crazy Panda. Thank you, though. I want your opinion on how Clint Eastwood directing a Carter Slade movie and the actor that should play. That's interesting, man. It could look, it could be the Rona. If it's the Rona, we'll just beat it. You know what I mean? We'll just beat it. It ain't no thing. Yo, Josh, Cillian Murphy would be a great Doctor Doom. I like Cillian Murphy a lot. I think he could be a really good Doom. do more Black Panther, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool. Boom. You know, it's so interesting. When I was reading the article that Jeremy was putting out about the new Avengers, it's really fascinating. But he's talking about how there's just so many teams that look to be established in the next phase of the MCU. And we've talked about this a little bit. You know, you got the Young Avengers coming. It's going to be cool. You got the Thunderbolts coming. You got potentially the new Avengers coming. It is awesome, man. The MCU is expanding. It's expanding. It's going to be so big. People are like, oh, the MCU's over. It's like, you have no idea what you're talking about, bros. You don't know. Josh, as a Star Wars fan, what are you expecting from the Star Wars X movies that are coming out in the next few years? Well, I believe they're sort of figuring that out. Now, Lucasfilm and Disney has the plan that they want to do, but frankly, they've had a lot of trouble getting that big talent to sign on the dotted line. So maybe they need to let go a little bit of that plan they have and allow someone else to create a vision for Star Wars. So I'm kind of confused, and I'm interested and confused about where they're at with that. So I hope that they can come to an arrangement with that talent. But I'll tell you this, I was working on my Star Wars fan fiction a little bit yesterday. And there's this really cool character that I have called Kensu. And he's really he's inspired a lot by the Donnie Yen character from Rogue One. And man, I had some fun writing that fan fiction yesterday. Very interesting stuff going on with a character that I have called Caleb, and this Kensu character who has been sort of tasked with looking after Caleb. It's really interesting. And I'm trying to find an artist to help me bring that fan fiction to life. When are the other guys' articles coming, if I may ask? Well, the plan is, Stormbreaker, to essentially I need to get some of the EPs and potentially some other people editorial access on the site, so that we can have sort of the content rotating out. You know what I mean? So that's sort of the next step, is to, now we know it works. We know we can get it up there. You know what I mean? And all that. We have like 5 articles by you in the bank. I've got another article by someone. A lot of other people are interested in writing articles. So the next phase of that is getting people editorial access so that we can start having sort of rotating updates and things. Because I just can't do it all myself, right? So we spent a lot of time this week trying to get that sorted out. So should be, I'm hoping next week, man. I'm hoping over the week. I have a meeting with the EPs tomorrow, and I think we'll nail down getting them access and trying to figure out how to coordinate the website a little bit better. Opinions. Josh, option. She was who I want to take over Lucasfilm after Kathleen Kennedy left. Jon Favreau. Yeah, Jon Favreau would be great, man. He'd be a great pick for sure. Oh, snap. I didn't see that. Okay, cool. Nice. Captain Pennsylvania's got one done. Nice. Any news on the Justice League Dark? No news, man. No news. I'm sure development is going on for it. You know, we'll see. I'm really interested in what project J.J. Abrams takes next, man. I think that's the lowest. I think Rise of Skywalker is the lowest rated movie of his career. And it will be interesting to see how the fans react to the J.J. Abrams brand. Campia's got a story on Justice League Dark today. Well, I'll tune in. And if I feel it's juicy, maybe I'll do a little take myself. You know what I mean? Justice League Dark TV show? Interesting. Look, I'd be down. I like those characters, man. Deadman is an awesome character. Deadman is dope. You know what I mean? And are they going to do Etrigan? Etrigan the demon? That character's awesome too. Who else is psyched for Dune? Looks dope. Dude, I'm really excited for Dune. I just love that guy's style, man. I love that dude's style. And even if Dune doesn't, I have this feeling that Dune might not be the huge success that Warner Brothers is looking for, which honestly is like fine, because at this point I'm like, yo, Warner Brothers, whatever, dude. Just keep whatever. But I just as a film fan, I'm excited for Dune. I think it'll be great. Charlie did a breakdown of it. Cool. I'll check it out. Sounds good. I'm going to check it on out, bro. You know what I mean? Zatanna is also a great character. Hey, Josh, are you still going to do that Patreon business stream on how to utilize StreamYard, etc. for your live streams? Yeah. In fact, let's do that this Sunday. This Sunday, we will stream about streaming for the business tier. And actually, yeah, let's do that. And I've got a really cool idea that I want to start with the business tier people. That's sort of like a YouTube boot camp where we literally like look at everybody's YouTube channel and sort of brainstorm together and try to help them out. Yeah, Clone Wars Episode 9 was epic. Doing it for your karate members? That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I feel like that would be the way to do it. It's sort of like an incubator thing, because I know we've already got great examples. You know what I mean? Like we've got Star Wars Santa has his channel and he's got his things going on. I've been really meaning to try to help him out. Trinity has his channel on there and has obviously been trying to help him out. You know, so like it would be great to sort of grab these examples and really work with people. You know, literally like week by week, like checking in, seeing like how what's the changes we made? How's it impacting the channel? Let's look at the data. Let's talk about it. Let's speculate, you know, let's strategize, that sort of stuff. Anthony, I think your question was about the plot details. Your channel doesn't even exist, but dude, that's okay. You know what? Jason, yeah, let's talk SEO, brother. Let's talk. I'm going to try to get some emails and stuff done today and work on the website a little bit. I will probably rest a little bit today as well. But, yeah, I will get what I can. Yeah, well, okay, so James, look, hang on. Let's back up and talk about Anthony's question, and then I'll talk about the business stuff a little bit more. So, Anthony, I think you were asking about the plot details when it came to Moon Knight, and I'll retread this just a little bit for you. It's in the show description, talking about how Mark Spector, you know, is the mercenary. There's the god Khonshu, but wait, does he really have powers? And they talked about his multiple personalities, including Mr. Knight. So the show description, kind of what we can extrapolate from that as far as the plot is concerned, is that this actor, whoever they get, will likely be playing all of these different roles, and it's going to be an incredibly psychological show. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be the superhero aspect. It's also very dark, but there'll be this psychological aspect to it. The mention of Mr. Knight particularly has strong ties to Warren Ellis. The Warren Ellis run of Moon Knight was very psychological. I love the mushroom one, by the way. You gotta check out the mushroom one. Visuals like Steve Ditko kind of acidy 70s visuals in that book, man. It was so cool. But okay, James. So as far as the business tier goes, that is definitely something that I want to do, is sort of craft it almost as a course where we're helping people with their YouTube channel and understanding how to grow on YouTube. But also the back end of that is, how do you utilize the YouTube channel for pre-existing businesses, right? That is something that's really interesting, because like for you already have a business and you can start to create YouTube content, and you can sort of use both. You can leverage your already existing customers to help you out on YouTube, but you can also use YouTube to help leverage your business to get more customers. Do you know what I mean? So it's a nice little kind of ebb and flow there. But yeah, it would be really cool to get into some of that discussions. Totally missed the stream like usual, but I want to say what's up, Josh. What's up, Sam? How you doing, brother? Test stuff, a couple episodes of my comic. I got you, Lavis. I got you. I understand, man. I got you, man. We will get it cranking. But folks, we're gonna call it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much. Drum and Company dropped a new single today. That's dope. And also, is Trinity up streaming yet? Is Trinity up streaming yet? Or what? Or what? Because I'd love to put a link over there. But drop the link, Drum and Company. Drop the link for the new single, man. I want to check it out. I'll be fine, everybody, but thank you. Trinity, you streaming yet or what, man? Let's see here. Kind of liking this jam. It doesn't appear like Trinity's streaming yet, and if he is, it's just not seeing. It's not popping up for me. Have a great day, everybody. I don't know how to drop an actual link. Is it going to be on your YouTube channel? Just I'll email you today, man. We'll get it sorted out. People are complaining about being home. I'm loving it. Final Fantasy VII all day. Look, there's a good and a bad to it. I think that people are getting antsy, man. We need to get back. We need to be safe. But we need to get back. We need to get up and running, man. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Look for some cool videos coming out later today. We're going to be doing are we doing a Patreon stream? Hell yeah, let's do a Patreon stream tomorrow on Saturday, too. So we'll do a stream tomorrow and, of course, a sweet Star Wars Sunday video coming at you on Sunday as well. And then we'll be back at it better than ever on Monday. All right, guys, thanks so much. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Chet, just be honest with me. Have you been socially distancing? Did you give me the fucking Rona, man? Did you give me the Rona? You tell me.